join me in giving Jeremy a warm welcome. Please, Jeremy, come on up. I don't see you anywhere, but surely you're here. Come on up.
Let it play, let it play. Thank you, Creative Morning. All right, good morning. This is truly an honor to be speaking here at Creative Mornings. I'm Jeremy Mitchell. I'm the CEO and Creative Director of Mitchell Bat Company. And we are a team of designers and marketers that create and sell heritage-inspired, hand-painted baseball bats right here in Nashville, Tennessee. And we give a portion of our profits to a charity that helps revive baseball in inner cities. Today's topic is love. And I love a lot of things, but one of those things is baseball. And I've had a love for the game for a long time at an early age. At 6 years old, this is me dominating the T-ball field in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Couple more shots there. I also played basketball and football, and I excelled in the world of academics. And as a kid, I loved playing baseball, but I spent a lot of time studying the history of the game. I always looked at old photos like this. It fascinated me. And as an adult, I've realized that all those years that not only did I love the game of baseball, but I loved the design of baseball. There's so much design in baseball. It's everywhere, including the jerseys, the hats, its patches, ticket stubs, evening wear. The design of the fronts of the stadiums were amazing, and the typesetting at Fenway Park, and even the scoreboards. Then somewhere during the 70s and 80s, things got a little weird. The uniforms from the 80s were quite different from the 1900s. The bright colors, the tight pants, and even with those tight pants on, there's still amazing design. My real love for the game, though, began with this. This is a 1983 Darryl Strawberry rookie card. And after school one day in the third grade, my buddy Jason Hargrove took me to his house, and he showed me this card, and he's like, this is a Darryl Strawberry rookie card. And I was like, what's that? And he was like, this is his first card, and it was behind this like protective glass, and I knew that it was super important. I knew that it was a neat thing, and I just stared at it, and I was like, yes, Darryl Strawberry. I love it. And so I became an avid baseball collector. And I would look at the cards front and back. I didn't really like reading as a kid, but I would read the backs of these baseball cards, everything about it, the stats, the little stories, how much the players weighed, how tall they were. But I would study the jerseys. I would look at the design and the lettering of the baseball cards, and the different color combinations, and every birthday and every Christmas I would ask for baseball cards. It was like all I was about. And it was more than a hobby, it was more of a passion. So fast forward to the summer of 2013, I get an email from a guy named Brad Davis, and he was like, hey, do you want to be a part of this group of designers to rebrand a skateboard company here in Nashville called Salem Town Board Co. He was like, Matt Lehman's on board, Tom Okerson's on board, Micah Smith, and I was like, yeah, I know all those guys. I would love to do this. And so I agreed to do it. And after the project was over, I was inspired because of all the stuff that they did in their shop. They had the stripes and the paint and everything. And so I started drawing these baseball bats in field notes with different stripe patterns. And I would post those on Instagram, and people started asking questions. And I was just kind of messing around. I wasn't thinking about starting a bat company. I was just wanting to design some bats. And so the more and more questions people asked, the more and more momentum, I was like, maybe I should take these into Photoshop and do some quick little renderings of them. And so people's feedback from the pencil sketches inspired me to take it a step further, what you're seeing here. And so it was when I posted these on Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest and stuff that I started getting emails from strangers that I didn't even know, hey, I saw your bats, and I want to buy one of your bats. And I'm like, these aren't real. Like, I'm glad you like them, but I don't know how to make a bat, and I don't know how to paint, and I'm just kind of messing around. And so I had no idea how to make this happen. But the more and more momentum that I got, the more and more I thought, maybe this could be a real thing. And so the idea was simple. I was going to put stripes on bats, and I was going to give a portion of the proceeds to charity to help revive baseball in inner cities. And I didn't know how to make a bat, like I said, or how to even achieve this, but I knew that I loved the idea, and I really wanted to see these things in real life. And everything I'd created prior to that had been digital, so it was like an application or a website or a video or photo. So I'd never even thought about creating something in real life. So the launch of the company kind of happened accidentally. It was October 30th, 2013, and I was watching Game 6 of the World Series. It was the Cardinals versus the Red Sox, and it was a big deal for the Red Sox at the time because they were about to win a World Series at Fenway Park. And so they're getting ready, they're prepping for the field, and I'm just watching this game, and it's like I'm freaking out because history was happening, and the Red Sox were about to win, and everybody in my house was asleep. The dog was asleep, my wife was asleep, my 2 baby girls were asleep. We just had our second baby girl, and she was 2 months old, and so this was not the time to start a fake bat company, for sure. And so I'm watching this game, and it's about the 7th inning stretch, and during a commercial break, I did it. I launched a quick little website, mitchellbatco.com. I put the couple renderings that I wanted to launch with. I started an Instagram account, and I started finding people at Fenway Park that were actually at the game. And so the game progressed, and as the game is going on, I'm liking photos. I'm probably liking 1,000 photos at a time, and I'm finding people at Fenway Park, and they're commenting on my photos, and I'm commenting on their photos, and they're like, oh, I love your bats, and they're like, here's a promo code for free shipping on this bat that doesn't exist. And they're like, oh, I'm going to buy one. I'm like, yeah, do it. And it was just like this back and forth. I was super excited. So I'm like watching this game, and I'm watching my Instagram feed, and I'm watching my followers and likes grow, and I'm just like, wow, this is happening. This is real. Keep in mind, these bats are not real. I have no idea how to do this. I have no idea how I was going to do it. But I figured I would have enough time to figure it out. But 4 days later, I sold my first bat. And the next day, I sold a bat to a guy in Oakland. And then I sold a bat to a guy in Hawaii. And then I sold some bats to people in Canada and Australia, and we weren't even set up to do international shipping. I'm just like freaking out. I'm like, okay, I told my wife, like, we're in big trouble. We need to give their money back. But I figured it out, and we shipped those bats. I'm like, okay, never do that again. 2 weeks later, I get an email from ESPN, and they reached out and they emailed me, and the guy was basically just like, hey, I saw your bats, and I love them, and we want to put your bats in our holiday gift guide for Black Friday. Are you cool with that? And so in the email, he said, just send me some high-res photos. And I was thinking, high-res photos? These bats don't even exist. How am I going to take pictures of them? And so I figured it out. We made the bats. We did a photo shoot out in my driveway. And so I agreed to be a part of the gift guide. And there it is, ESPN.com, Black Friday. Sure enough, it launched. Soon after that, this is what our house looked like. Bats in the baby crib. That's normal, right? Bats in the shed. Bats all over the floor. We had bats in our trunks of our cars everywhere. And so I was staying up to like 2 in the morning working on these bats, and I was sleeping for 3 hours, and I was waking up at 5 in the morning, I'd paint some more, and then I'd go to my day job. And then I would come back home, and I'd do that. I did that for about the whole Christmas season. I did that every single day. I was exhausted. I do want to pause here, and I want to thank my wife for putting up with this. Give her a, she's here today. Yeah, she's been a huge support And no wife should go through this. So thank you. And so yeah, we survived our first Christmas, but barely. I was exhausted, and I knew I was onto something. And I knew I had something very special because of the emails I was getting from people that received a bat, and they're like, "Oh man, I got this bat, and it reminds me of my grandfather," and it means everything to me. And that to me, I was just like, wow, this is crazy. I can't believe that people actually care about this and as much as I do. And so right after that first Christmas, I thought that we could take a little break and a little breather. And then I get an email from these people, and the email was a short email, and it was basically like, "Hey, we love your bats, and we want to sell them in our store. I want to gauge your interest." And I was like, "Yeah, my interest is really high." And so, can you hop on a call? And so I hopped on a call with Ralph Lauren, and it was just the weirdest thing, and this so surreal. Like, "Hey, hello," and like, "Hey, this is Ralph Lauren." Not the Ralph Lauren, but somebody works at Ralph Lauren. And so I'm talking to them on the phone, and I was like, "How did you find me? Like, how did you?" And they're like, "Oh, David Lauren has one of your bats, like Ralph Lauren's son." I'm like, okay, that's crazy. And so that's why he loves the bats, and so he wants to have them in the spring floor set. And so there they are, right there in the front of the Manhattan store. Still, I'm freaking out at this point. I'm kind of still freaking out over that. During all this, we've received press that I could have never dreamed that we would even have, ESPN, Martha Stewart, InStyle, etc. And it's just been an unforeseen gift from God that we can do this, that have this gift of these bats to sell. In the midst of all the craziness, I got an email from people, and they're like, "Hey, let's collaborate." And as designers, that's a thing. Other designers collaborate with other designers. And so this guy, his name's Don Clark from Invisible Creature, emails me, and Invisible Creature makes stuff like this. These like cool little toys, and they do a lot of different things. But he emailed me, and he was like, "Hey, I had this idea for this fictitious baseball team, and can you make us bats for this thing we're doing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sounds cool." And so we did it, and that collaboration was so cool. They did a video that marketed the collaboration. I'm gonna show you. Here it is. Yeah, so that was fun, and I got to work with my heroes, really. I mean, Don Clark, Invisible Creature, he's no better than that. John Contino, those guys, and so those guys, I consider those guys my friends now. Another collaboration we did, for a while, people would email me like, "Hey, can you put my logo on a bat?" I'm like, "I don't want to put a logo, I don't want to do that. No, we don't have the technology to do that. It can't happen." All the time, I'm just like saying no to these logo things. And then Jack Daniels asked, "Hey, can you put our logo on a bat?" And I was like, "Yeah, totally. I would love to. Yeah, I'm crazy. I would say no to that." And then, so we took it a step further, and we stained it with whiskey, and then we caught it on fire. And then there's the bat being worked on. In addition to the collaborations, one of my favorite stores of all time, Ebbets Field Flannels out in Seattle. I've been following them for forever, and they reached out, and it's kind of the same thing. "Hey, we want to carry your bats. So are you interested?" And like, "Yes, please." And so they did it, and that was a neat conversation that I had with the owner of Ebbets, and I owe a lot to those people. They've been so great to me. And recently, this actually launched yesterday, Herschel Supply Co. and Mitchell Bat Company together, working with Major League Baseball on a collaboration that they're doing with them. And so, yeah, the collaborations just keep coming, and we just keep saying yes to stuff. And that's probably been one of my favorite things to do is to work with other brands and see the kind of ideas they have. Like the Jack Daniel's thing, I would have never even dreamed to pour whiskey and catch a bat on fire. People ask us all the time, can you hit with your bats? Absolutely, yes, we do. We hit with our bats. The Nashville Baseball Club is a sandlot league that I started this year. And we play the first Sunday of every month. Here's the crew right here, some of them. My daughters get to come. They run a concession stand. You can't see the sign, but it has like Venmo, PayPal, Square. Yeah. High-tech kids. So NashvilleBaseballClub.com, if you want to play, you can check us out. And one of the best things about starting this company is that I've gotten to be able to include the whole family. And they've joined me on this journey that I've been on for 3 years. And throughout all of this, I've gained a wealth of knowledge of business and marketing and the power of social media and the power of giving back. And we've made some money along the way. But the biggest thing I've gained by far are the friendships that I've made or the relationships that I've restarted because of Mitchell Bat Company. I want to close with a quote from my favorite baseball player, Ernie Banks. Loyalty and friendship, which is to me the same, created all the wealth that I've ever thought I would have. And there's a lot of people in this photo. That's only a fraction of the people who I've met through this journey, and I consider them true friends. And their friendships have boosted me to the next level when I thought that I couldn't keep going. And I love baseball, and I figured out a way to create a business based on this love. And so I just want to close with a question. So what do you love? And thank you. That's the power of love. Thank you.